work. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Nobody knows. Remember that God loves you, Christ loves you, and I love you as well. God bless you guys and gals. Make sure you subscribe to the Take It Home podcast, this channel where I talk about professional wrestling topics, and I'll put on my matches as Classic Alpha, professional wrestler of 13 years. Make sure you also subscribe to my second YouTube channel, C3 Ultimate Wrestling. That is me and my wife's professional wrestling company. Monday, we will drop the first match of Fright Night, which happened last Wednesday in Dalton, Illinois, for Royal Estates Assisted Living and Countryside Nursing and Rehab Center. We had the casual fans. They enjoyed the show and it was great. The staff, they enjoyed the show, so it's always great to serve the community. So we had the opportunity to record the matches and stuff. So the first match Monday, Kenny 9 versus D'Angelo Steele. After work, I'm going to try to go live again and review the show, because me and my wife watched the show's entirety yesterday. All right. Also, February 21st, 2026, Big Business, B-I-G Business. That happens in Dyer, Indiana. We return to Harold's private venue. Tickets are on sale now. Remember, they are $5 off on Eventbrite, but there'll be $5 more at the door. Bars. I miss saying that. Man, that's yesterday. The WWE program looks like it is crumbling. I think it's slowly but surely been crumbling since the summer, maybe even before that. So for the ones who don't know what the WWE ID program is, it was WWE basically trying to work with smaller companies, independent companies, companies that their wrestlers who work for the WWE have schools and stuff, so they gave them the brand. Good morning, Austin. So basically, the independent companies or the upcoming training academies and schools, they would have a WWE ID on like their flyer and stuff like that. And to the most part, I would think that would help the smaller companies, because it'd be like, okay, you never know, somebody from WWE might show up. You know, some of these wrestlers are supposed to be the best and stuff like that. So basically, that was with the schools, but then they would sign some of the wrestlers in the schools or whatever like that, and then I guess the kid wrestlers would think it would be like a contract or whatever like that, or eventually they'd go to the performance center. So it was a big thing. I spoke about it. I said that obviously it would probably benefit more of the schools than WWE itself, because WWE is WWE or whatever like that. And then I also said this could possibly clash with the NIL program, which is the next in line program, which was college athletes, wrestlers, basketball players and stuff. If WWE was interested in them, they would sign them. So I was like, what are we doing here? So basically they was trying to make a WWE ID program that was supposed to be like an NIL program for wrestlers, because a lot of wrestlers were obviously upset that WWE will go out of their way to try to train non-wrestlers to be wrestlers, when you have people who've been wrestling for years and you can just help them become the next star. But I think that this was supposed to counter the NIL, and I don't think that it was great. I don't think it was a good idea. You could have just said the NIL should be also for the wrestlers. You get what I'm saying? But still, long story short. So basically, this has been I believe the beginning of it, and almost looks like the end of it in 1 year, just 1 year. A couple months ago, there was a couple wrestlers that were signed. They said that they are leaving the WWE ID program. Like last week or a week and a half, Kylie Ray, she was the WWE ID Women's Champion. She says her contract is expiring. She's also about to have a child. Congratulations, obviously. But she said she's not basically returning. There was another young lady that said they wasn't returning. There was a few more wrestlers that was part of the program. They wasn't returning neither. And even LFG, Legends, whatever that thing is, I want to say Let's Freaking Go, but y'all know that program when they're trying to teach these people how to wrestle, and they have coaches and they have competitions and stuff. Several of those people was let go too. I'm going to put them into that situation with WWE ID as well. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? So, there's a lot of stuff. I think the WWE ID has been going through some stuff. You know, even the Rajah Jackson situation, I think that was like a bad highlight for them, because that was Rikishi's school, and Rikishi's school was under WWE ID, and then they basically took them off of the WWE ID because of the situation that happened with Rajah Jackson. He got arrested too, by the way, if you guys aren't into the wrestling world. I do believe that he was taken into custody still. So what are my thoughts on it? I'm not shocked. Also, we got to think that WWE is not owned by WWE. TKO owns WWE. So obviously, like I said, the biggest thing for businesses is to make money and make more money. And how could you make more money? Cutting programs, saving money. Does it cut people's opportunities? Yes. Does it sometimes waste people's time? Unfortunately, yes. And I do think that's just what it is. We spoke about how they're going to cut people's pay when they get released. You know, they said you got usually 30, 60, 90 days to compete, and they will usually compensate them during those days. Allegedly, the rumors are they're going to cut people's cash. They're going to cut people's cash. They're going to do other stuff. So they have that kind of stuff. They're making a lot of money. Them releasing people. Them trying to give people contracts that's bogus. What's her name? Jasmine Nix. You know, she's just recently released from NXT, and she came out and she said basically they wanted to renew her contract, but the money, it was just low, financially low. I think it was like $60,000. So it was like, no, I can make money elsewhere. I can do other things and stuff. And she said that she's not doing OnlyFans. Shout out to her if she don't do it. She don't need to do it. But still, I'm just saying. We see that they're making a lot of money, so now they're going to try to save a lot of money. They're not going to fund programs that they don't need, honestly. WWE didn't need a WWE ID program. They definitely didn't. Y'all have an NXT. Our Sean has talked about this. C3 Ultimate Wrestling champion Joseph Howard Credit has talked about this. If y'all want to try to make a star, y'all can literally try to make a star, right? Y'all already get people who are from the independents, who do other sports and stuff, where y'all train them, and some become the best, like your Brock Lesnar's and the Bianca Belairs and stuff. That y'all do this already. So just to try to promote something to basically be an apology to wrestlers, we already knew that this was something that was just going to be highly accepted, you know, because it's just what it is. And somebody brought up a good point too. They were saying that WWE ID was basically probably a counter program for AEW. So a lot of the people don't go to AEW and get booked and wrestle there. And I'm like, hey, I'm inclined to believe that too. Hey, why don't you work for an affiliate of WWE? Because you might go to WWE because we don't want you to go to AEW. See, just because WWE is successful in winning and all of this other stuff doesn't technically mean that they're not doing anything to stop other companies from succeeding, and it doesn't mean that they're actually petty, right? Like, we can be honest about it. I think both companies are very petty when it comes to certain things. Now, bad thing about doing that is, I know a lot of these wrestlers are probably going to have a hard time getting booked at spots they want to get booked at, because I'm sure a lot of companies have asked to book them, and even companies that was booking them before the WWE program, and they said no because WWE said no. Or WWE said, hey, I can only work certain places. Now you're let go, and you may get the brunt of that because you told them no, because the place that you were supposed to be employed said not to go. This stuff happens. This stuff happens. It definitely happens. And it does suck because when you're at a job, sometimes people are loyal to it, as in they're going to do their best to keep their job. And sometimes when you get cut, now you got to deal with the reality. Or even then, if you, not even that, also, if you decided to be loyal to this company and then they decided to let you go and not renew your contract, now you're trying to go back to these companies. This is a possibility. This is a possibility. These are the risks of pro wrestlers sometimes, especially when you're in something where you're not even really signed to the WWE. You're signed to being an affiliate of WWE. You potential, mind you, they have NXT. They have a performance center. They have the NIL program. They should have just said the NIL program included independent wrestlers. That's what they should have did, instead of just saying, okay, but we're going to do an ID program. Because we talk about it, but we don't talk about it like in a positive light. There's some people that I did like. What's his name? Jack Cartwheel. I thought that dude was pretty cool. Shout out to him. So we also have Evolve. I forgot about it too. Y'all got Evolve. What is Evolve supposed to be? What is Evolve supposed to be. Too many programs. And I think TKO was like, you know what? Y'all doing too much. Y'all are doing too much. And let me say this. When I talk about who are we to hold accountable to certain things for booking decisions, like bad decisions in wrestling, I hold WWE accountable for the product of WWE, of the wrestling and the stories and stuff. I'll give them grace when it comes to sponsorships and certain cringy commercials that the wrestlers are a part of with Slim Jim, well, not the Slim Jim, I actually like the Slim Jim commercials, with certain things, the pizzas and all of that stuff, you know, obviously TKO, that's it. But as far as like the booking stuff and certain things, I'm going to give that more to WWE. Now, as far as the business decisions as ending contracts and ending shows and stuff and all of that and adding certain things, I'm giving that to TKO. And obviously this is a TKO thing, and I'm indifferent about it because, one, it is sad that like if that was people's main source of income, it's not there anymore, and they may have burned bridges. Also, because, you know, it could burn the bridges. It could be a bad thing or whatever like that. So I'm indifferent about that because I'm not into like cheering somebody losing their job, especially if they were safe or they were very, very good at it. But these people devoted time and effort, and they look like either some just felt like it was a waste of time, because I've never heard so many people just being like, hey, I'm not renewing my contract. But then you also have some that didn't get their contract renewed. And then now the LFG stuff, who's to say that that's not done with that, with certain cuts and stuff. So that's very important to understand too. So like I said, it should have just been something with the NIL. You know, y'all have so many things and so many moving parts. Like as a business, you don't want to put so much money into stuff when you have already stuff. You know, NXT basically is not even, oh man, thank you for your service, James. Feel better. But yeah, NXT, I understand, like it's a developmental, but it's dang near its own brand, successful brand at that. So it's like, I understand y'all wanted to do other things, be like, hey, let's train these people here, but that's what you got a performance center for. But I don't think they want to fund flying these people out, hotel, feeding them and taking care of them, because they're trying to save money. They're trying to do that. To become a wrestler now, it's probably going to be more expensive than actually being buying a ticket to a WrestleMania, to a WWE event. What's going on, Ken? So that's what I think. I truly do believe that, like, honestly, it's going to cost them, if you want to be a wrestler for the WWE, it's going to cost you more, because you're going to have to probably make your own flight to the tryout, get your own food, get your own hotel, get your own stuff. Hey, follow us here, follow us there, show us that you're loyal, and then they just gonna leave you. This was just extra steps, signing a contract, making a championship, stuff like that, putting you on flyers, putting a WWE ID over or under your name on the flyer. This is just extra steps to that. And I do hope that these people find what they are looking for and stuff like that. I am praying and hope that they get their success, because this is wild, because this was definitely looks like it was a waste of time. I consider using the HUD program. Okay. Nothing much, Ken, just on the way to work. About to pull off and about to be off this live. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. But still, I do think that the WWE ID program definitely was a waste of time. It was just to counter-react to people getting mad at the NIL, which just seems like it was just exclusive to just athletes. And I do think that they try to do something, and I think that it just failed. But that's what I think. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. This is Chris Classic. Let's take it home.